Hello friend, welcome back. In our previous video, we are successfully able to update that slider a specific one ID related data. Here we successfully get it, and here we successfully able to update it. Now that is the data. I want to simply visible it in our home page, in our front end area. This part I want to now update. Let's do that work. Process will be just like that same before. Here right now there is a get slider. That will be not needed. I want to also remove everything. Okay, here I want to go to that our home. That means if you go to that our view, and that is our home layout. Before I have already segment all that our pages, like that is our slider. So into the slider area, first things here we have to do, we have to simply get this our data. Right, so if you want to get it into this our blade page, we have to call it with the PHP blog, and then I take one of the variable like as a slider, and then I want to access it our model. So that will be as a app backslash the models and backslash that will be as a slider. Right, that is a slider model. So from to the slider model, I want to find out our which data. I want to find out our one ID related data. Simple job, which I have already done it into this area, a specific one ID related data. I find it, same things I want to also do that things in here. Now we get a specific our one ID related, that is our one ID related data. So now I want to display the title, description, image and link. Let's do that work. For doing this, I want to simply that is our slider, and you can see that is one of the static name. I want to now change it. Now that should be as per our dynamic data. So now with the slider, I want to visible that our field name here, if you go as a title, right? So now I want to visible that our title. Then same things I want to also apply it in here. Now that will be the slider with this our field name as a description. I want to simply copy it. Now that will be our description, and in here that is also one of the link. Right here I want to do to simply pass it. So the link will be, which one link will be our same, better I copy it, and now that is our href area. Here we have to pass that our link. Now with this slider, our field name as a link. So I want to do to simply take it, that will be as a link for when you create it. Create a free account, you can also pass it into the login page, but actually from here I want to pass it our another contact page. So I make it as a contact, okay, contact with us, okay, with 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 us. Now I want to simply use this type of one of the name, and then also that have one of the image. SVG, I want to actually use the same SVG. SVG is for here actually be into the background. You can see they have one of the SVG shadow. I want to use it, but only that is the image I want to update. So here if I want to update this image, now that will be the slider, and with this slider I want to access that our field name as the image. Now that should be the image, because here our database field name also as the image. Perfect. So friend, that's all you have to do. Now if you click as a save all, now all the data, now that should be as a totally dynamic. If you refresh it, yes, you can see that is successfully updated. Our description is updated. Our contact, if you put your cursor, you can see it's now successfully updated our /contact. Our image, which image I have updated, this image is also successfully visible it in here with the appropriate size. And now if you want to change anything in front of the backend, you can actually update this information. And after that, if you click on the save changes, now if you go, now that should be updated in here. You can see there is a one description, one our title, that is successfully updated. How much easily you can make any website as a dynamic way into the Laravel. I hope friend the concept is very clear to you. So that is pretty much same things I have done it, but now I also want to update it into the modern technology. So into this modern technology area, here I want to do from to this backend you can actually update, which is fine, but I want to update that informations from to this our page. That means from here when you select it, from to this position you can actually change it from here, and when you simply change it, automatically this will be updated in our database into this specific field area that will be updated. So in that case we don't need to change it to the our slider part. So that will be just like as the Elementor. If you are already using that WordPress Elementor, into this Elementor area, here you can actually update that things from here. Right, so here I will also implemented the same things for our title and for the description. So this title and description I will update it from here. Okay, so how you can do this type of one of the functionality with using the JavaScript, from to the next video I will also share that things with you. So thanks for watching, and I will see you in the next video. Hello friend, welcome back. In our previous video, from to this our admin dashboard, we can able to update that our slider information. So here, whatever the things will be changes, in particular that our backend, then that should be also updated in here, right? So that is one of the part you can we have successfully done it. Now I want to make it little bit more interactive. That will be just like that if you already use that WordPress, one of the Elementor. That means I don't want to actually update this information like as a title and then that is our description. I want to update this information from here, not from to this our backend. So from to the backend, I have already shared that things with you. You can already know how to update this functionality. But now I want to make it a little bit more interactive into the modern way. Okay, so let's do that work. For doing this, first of all, I want to go to our slider. Like right now, I will use it on the JavaScript, and with this, throughout this JavaScript, I will actually update this functionality. For doing this, first of all, I want to update our which things. I want to update our, that is the two of this part, right? One is our title and also the description. So for doing this, I want to do in our h1 tag, I want to use one of the ID, and ID name, I name it like as a slider title. Okay, I just know whatever the name actually you choose. Now I name it as a slider title. And also here, when this user will be logged in, like right now I'm already logged in. That is the reason our dashboard is visible, right? So without logging, this user cannot able to actually update this information. If you want to update this information, user must have to be logged in. So here also you have to add this type of one of the functionality. So here if you want to do this work, I name it one of the name as a contain. Okay, that will be as a contain editable. Okay, that is a contain editable. And now with this function, I want to put one of the condition with the auth. Auth means authenticated user. Okay, so when this authenticated user, first of all, I want to check it with the check. So that will be as a check. So it should be first of all check that our authenticated user, if our authenticated user is logged in or not. Here by this check function, that will be check it. Then I want to make it when this authenticated user will be as a checked, that means true. Then I want to make it that will be as a true. Okay, that will be as a true, and else that will be as a false. Okay, that will be as a false. I want to use it as a false, F-A-L-S-E. Great. I hope the concept is very clear to you. So throughout this here, I pass that our authenticated check here, that will be check it user is logging or not. If this user is logging, then that will be as a true, rather than that will be as a false. Okay. TRUE, great, that is a true. And now after that here, I want to pass that our specific this ID, that means our slider ID, a specific which slider we have already get it from here, a specific one ID related data. Now throughout this, I also want to pass that our slider ID. Then here that will be one of the data ID. I name it as a data, and that will be as a data ID. And this data ID will be here. I want to use it that is the slider, and with this slider I want to access that our ID. Okay, which ID is that? I simply pass it by the name as a data ID. Great. So that's all you have to do. And also I want to do the same things for here. Better I copy it. Okay, I copy the total things from this position. And now that is actually our p tag for the descriptions. Here I also want to paste it. Now first of all, that will be the ID name. I name it like as a slider description, and containable, that is a contained edit table. Contained edit table will be our authenticated check. When that will be as a true, then that will be actually readable, rather than that will be as a false. Okay, and also the data ID here, I pass it our slider ID. Great. So this slider means which one? This slider means here I have already get a specific one ID related data from to this our slider table, and here I take it. So now throughout this ID we have to add some of the script. So I want to go here. Like that is actually ended our total div, and now after that, first of all we have to load that our CSRF token. So I want to better put some of the note for you. That will be as a CSRF. Okay, CSRF token. Because now from to this our page I will actually upload that our total information. I want to put some of the note for you. That is our CSRF token, and in here first of all I want to load that our meta. That will be as a meta, and into this meta area here we have to pass that our name, meta name, that should be as a CSRF, and then the token, that will be the CSRF token, and also we have to pass that our contain, and into this contain area here we have to pass it, and that will be our CSRF, that is a CSRF token underscore token. It is very important, rather than you cannot able to handle any kinds of request. So make that sure you have added the CSRF token, and also our name, assign it as a CSRF token. Great. And now I want to load that our script. So I put one of the script is started, script is ended, and into this script, that is one of the JavaScript I want to use it. And here if you know a little bit the JavaScript, then that will be very easy for you. But now I want to write down this one. That will be first of all as a document. I name it as a document, and document will be one of the add event listener. Okay, so I just name it as add event listener, and in here we have to call it as a DOM contain loaded. One of the DOM contain loaded, that should be loaded, and in here we have to call one of the function. I simply call this function. So into this function area, first of all I want to get our two of this ID that I have already assigned. First of all I want to take it. I take one of the constant. I just name it as a title element. Okay, I name it as a title element, and that will be that is the document. And with this document I want to call one of the new function, that is our get element by ID. Okay, element by ID. That is one of the function I want to call it, and throughout this I want to access that our ID means which one. Here if you go, I have already assigned one of the ID as a slider title. I copy it. Now here I want to take it. That will be by these documents, there is a get element by ID. I want to access that our slider title. Great. And also I want to do the same things. Better I copy it, and here I paste it. I take another one that will be as a description element. So I name it as a DESC, description element. That will be document get element by ID, and then for the description field I have also assigned another name as a slider description, right? So I copy it. Now that will be in here as a slider description. So now here after that, in particular that area, we have to call another function. I just name one of the function. I just name it as a save changes, and into the save changes area here I pass one of the element. Okay, element. So I just simply pass one of the element. Great. So into this element area here I want to take one of the variable with the late variable, and I just name it as a slider ID, and that is the slider ID. We can able to access it from to this our element, and from to this element that will be as a data set. Okay, data, and then that will be as a set and data set ID. Okay, here I simply take it. I simply take that our that is the element, and by the name as a data set ID. It means here if you go, I have also passed it our data ID. Into this area I pass that our slider ID. Right, here I simply take that our slider ID by the name one of the variable as a slider ID, and then also I want to assign that our field. So I take another variable, I just name it as a field, and field will be our, that is the element here specific, this element related ID, and this ID when that will be equal our, that is the slider title. So I simply take that our slider title. Okay, here if there have any slider title, I want to get that our field name. Our field name here, if you go, our field name rather than that will be I just name it here, that is actually name as a title and then the description, right? So now I want to take it. I want to take that our field name as a title, and rather than or that will be as a description, description, right? Make the sure spelling is correct. So that is a clever field name as a description. Great. So here I simply take both of these, and then also I'm going to take another variable. I just name it as a late. I just name it as a new value. So that means here whatever the new value we have, actually we will add it. So that is the new value, and here I want to pass it our element, and then that will be as inner text. Okay, that will be as inner, and then the text. So that is our inner text, and this inner text I want to trim it. So that will be as a trim, and trim I want to use it. Trim means it should be remove all that your spaces, that means empty spaces, that will be removed by this our trim. Okay, by this trim method that will be actually executed. Great. So here I simply name it, and here after that I want to call one of the API. Okay, here from to this position you have to actually call this API. That means we have to fetch this data. Whatever the data you will be updated from here, that should be called one of the new route, and into this route area we have to define one of the new method. Okay, so here we have to do in particular that position, so we have to create it. So I name it as a fetch. Okay, that will be as a fetch, and into this fetch area here I want to use one of the emphasis. Okay, that will be the emphasis is started, and then I want to create another new route like as a edit. Okay, edit slider, whatever name actually choose. Now that will be our edit slider, and also here we have to pass that our ID. So here if you want to pass that our ID, so that will be our $sign, and that is the ID, our slider ID. I have already taken it with this variable. So now that is actually our slider ID. So now our total route will be edit slider, and then that should be one of the requested ID. Here I simply take it, and then here we have to define some of the property like as a method property. That will be a method, and method will be here. That should be obviously one of the post method. I want to define that our post, and then also you have to add that header. That will be the headers. Okay, headers property here we have to define, and into this headers property area here we have to define that our X. So that is actually a common one. You have to use it if you want to handle that request from here. So that will be the CSRF, and then that will be as a token. That will be the CSRF token, and then that will be our document. Okay, into this document area here, that is also another function we have to call it. That is all JavaScript function as a query selector. That will be the query selector, and into this query selector area here we have to pass that our metadata. So meta will be which one? Meta name I have already defined. That will be the name, and name will be as a CSRF token. Right here I have already defined that our name, and name I define it as a CSRF token. Here we have to pass it. Great. So I simply pass it in particular that position. So now after that will be get that our attribute. So as a get attribute, and get attribute, and attribute will be which one? Attribute here if you go, our attribute for the CSRF token as a contain. So now here we have to define it our contain, and then also our that is the content type we have to define. So that will be our content type. I name it as a contain, and then the type, content type, and content type I want to make it, and that will be as a application. Okay, sorry, that will be the application, and then the JSON data. Okay, that will be the application JSON. Here I simply define it, and then I just want to make this our JSON data. So I take another property as a body, and this body property area here we have to pass that our JSON, and JSON will be as a stringify. Okay, that will be converted to the string value, so that I make it as a string. Stringify. Okay, that will be the stringify, and into this stringify area here we have to define that our field. Our field means here I have already defined it. I already defined that that is actually field our title data. That is our slider title. So here I simply take it. That will be that is a field, and field will be whatever the new data you have actually changes. So now that will be that is a new data I want to pass it. So here we have to pass it like that way, and then if there have everything okay, so I make it as a then that will be display that our response. Okay, response, and response will be here with the response JSON. So here that will be as a response, and response will be as a JSON data. okay, JSON data. Here we have to call that our response JSON data. And also here we have to pass it our if we get that all that data perfectly, so I make it as another then, and then that is our data, and this data area here I want to make it one of the condition, one of the if condition, and if that is our data, if data as a success, okay, name it as a success. So this is the data, actually I will pass it throughout that is our method. So if data is the success, here in particular that position I want to simply console log this data. So I make it as a console and then the log, and into this console log area here I want to use that emphasis, and into this emphasis area that will be our field, and that means here I want to use it our field data, that will be actually field data. Okay, so that is a field data, and in this that will be display our field, which field actually updated, like as a title, updated successfully, or when you change anything into the description, that should be displayed as a description updated successfully. So that is actually our field, right? So that is a field I have already get it, our slider title, which is really great. So now that is the field data that should be displayed, which data you are checked, that should be displayed this data into this our console log. And now after that, if there have any error, I make it as a catch. So that will be as a catch area. If there have any error, then that will be displayed in our console log. Error I want to visible, so that will be error, and that should be a display like as error, okay, error, and into this error area that should be display our error. Okay, so that is actually our error that should be display. Perfect. So here we have to define that things like that way. And now we have to also update when these things will be executed. Like right now, if you actually simply change something in particular that area, here that should be when you simply click another area into this our box, then automatically that should be executed. Okay, that means here we have to add some of the event listener when that will be updated this functionality. So here we have to use some of the key down functionality, or rather than enter functionality. So this type of one of the prevent new lines here we have to assign it, and also you can assign that automatically that will be saved when you enter any key. So how you can do this work, but I want to continue this process in our next video. I will complete that is the script from to this position. So thanks for watching, and I will see you in the next video. Hello friend, welcome back. In our previous video, we are working in our JavaScript, that in our slider into this area. I have already get that our slider part. We have created one of the route as a edit slider for update this information. And now here after that is our error. And into these positions, we have to now assign this type of one of the functionality. That means when you change that our title and after press anything in particular that area or enter key, then this information that should be updated into this our database. Right. So here first of all you have to define both of this in our this field area. Now if you want to do this work here after that, okay, here after that, but I want to put some of the note for you that will be like as a auto, okay, name it as auto save, okay, auto save on enter key, enter and then the key. So now this type of one of the functionality I want to use it. So that will be the same with the documents. With the document, that is also another function as a add event listener. Here we have to call it, and then I pass it by the one of the name like as a key down, key DOWN. Okay, that will be this key down listener. I want to use it, and then that will be our function. And in here I want to find simply pass one of the element. So that is the element, and into this element area I want to put one of the if condition. Okay, into this condition area I want to make it as that is our event when this event key will be as a equal as a enter. Okay, enter. When this will be as a enter, then everything will be happen without loading that page. So if you want to prevent it, that will be our event. And then also another function as a prevent default. I want to call it as a prevent default. default. Okay, that will be the prevent default. Here we have to done it. Now with this, there will be not refresh or anything, and here after that I want to done to call that our function name that I have declared as a save changes. I want to done to pass it. That is actually our element. We have to also pass it. Now I want to pass that our save changes, and in here that will be our event, and then it will be as a target. Okay, event target. Here I simply pass that our event target. Great. So now that is our one part, and now also I want to use that our auto save for the losing focus. So here if you want to pass it, but I will put on the note for you, that will be as a auto, okay, auto save on losing focus. Focus means here actually when you select it, that will be little bit blue color. I want to done to use it. So that is the things I want to define it for our title element, and into this title element I want to add that our add listener, and here I want to add another listener as a blur. That will be a little bit blur, and this blur function I want to call this as a function, and this functions area I want to define that function, and in here that will be our that is a save changes, and with the save changes area I want to pass that our that is the title element. Here I want to pass it. And same things now also I want to define it for our another one as a description element, and that is the description element area. I want to add that our add listener, and this add listener that will be as the same blur and blur function. I want to define it as a function. I simply call it, and then with our save changes, and in here I want to pass it. Okay, I want to pass that our description element. Okay, so I simply pass both of these. So now everything is fine, and then that is actually ended. Okay, that is ended in here. So I want to end it. Perfect. So now that should be as a selectable. If you now click as a save all, and now if you go here, if you refresh this page and to refresh it, if you select it, you can see that is actually one of the border is successfully visible, and now from here you can actually update this information, and also for the description, which is really great. I hope you like it. So now I want to do here that is not updated, right? Here if you refresh this page, that actually this is not updated. So now here I want to do whatever the things will be added. So now automatically that should be call our that is the route that I have already defined as the edit slider with the ID. So here we have to now update this information. So let's do that work. For doing this, I want to create it as an edit slider, and with the slider ID in our web.php, I want to go, and in here I want to create it. Better I copy it, and now I want to simply copy and then I paste it. That will be one of the post method, and here I define that name as the edit slider, and also that have one of the slider ID. I want to update it as a edit slider, and after that edit slider that should be one of the ID. So I make it as an ID, and now I want to create another new method. I name it as the edit slider. Okay, and now that is our name route will be not needed because here I passed that our URL. So now that is our URL as the edit slider with the ID, and now that is the edit slider method we have to create in our slider controller. So now I want to go to that our slider controller, and in here now after that I want to create another new function, and I just name it as a public, and then the function that will be the public function, and then that will be method name will be as a edit slider, and here we have to get that our request, and then that will be as a $request, and also that have one of the ID I have actually passed it, that is our ID. Now also I want to take that our requested ID. Okay, here that is the functions now I want to create, and that will be our end method. So first of all I want to get that our specific requested ID. So I take one of the variable as a slider, and slider will be our slider model that I have already used it. That is our slider model. Now we have to actually update in our which place. We have to update that things in our slider table. So that is our slider model, and in here I want to make it as a find or fail, and by the find or fail method I want to access that is the requested ID. Okay, so that is actually our requested ID. I want to simply take it. And if you also want to use some of the validation, you can use the validations, but now I want to actually directly update it. Here, if I want to update, I put one of the if conditions area, that is our request. That is a request. If this request has that our field name as a title, I want to use it as a title. If this as title, then in our slider, which I have already get that our specific slider related data by the name as a slider. Now throughout this slider, I want to copy it. With this slider, I want to access that our database field name as a title. Right here, if you go to our database field name, that is a field name as a title, and that is a description. So here I want to access it, our title, and this title will be which one? This title will be our requested field name. Our requested field name also I pass it by the name as a title. So now that is a title, I want to simply receive it. Same logic, I want to use it for the description. I simply copy and paste it. That will be has a description, description, right? That is a description. So that is a description here. Also, with the slider, if this slider get that there is a database field name as a description, that will be updated with our requested description. And when both of these will be checked, then with the slider, this slider that I want to save it, so that will be as a slider, and with the slider I want to call that our save method. So now that will be saved. And here also we have to pass it our return will be one of the response, and return response will be one of the JSON format data. So I make it as a JSON, and that will be the JSON. And JSON data here, I want to pass it by the name as a, here if you go, I have already received it by the name as a data will be as a success. Now I want to pass it by the name as a success. So that is our success, and this success will be as a true. Okay, I name it as a true. That's all you have to do. I hope, friend, every concept, everything is very, very clear to you. So now that is actually our title. If this site that have any title request, that should be updated our request title. It should be updated that our descriptions. Now let's check this out. It's successfully working or not. If you now click as a save all, and now I have updated our post method. Now better on to run that our PHP addition optimize, that should be running successful. Now that is successfully running, and now I want to check it here. If you now go, I want to refresh it. Okay, I refresh it, and also I refresh that our database. Now that is our one manage one track. Okay, so now I want to check it here. I want to change it with the 1 to the DD, and here if you press it, now that should be updated. Here you can actually check it into this console log, but I want to check it's updated or not. You can see that is not updated here. I want to check it for exactly the issue. If you go to that inspect, if you go to that our console, into the console area, when I refresh it again, now here if you change anything, actually that is our request is not happening. Maybe they have some of the issues in here. If you go to that our slider, into the slider area, that is our edit slider, this request is not executed. It because of all that is our edits. You can see spelling mistake, that will be as a fetch. Okay, FETCH. Okay, that will be as a fetch. Now I click as a save all, and now if you go, I want to refresh it. And now let's check this out here. I want to make it like as a 1S. Now if you press into the other side, like here, you can see perfect. Now that is successfully display as a title updated successful, right? So that is the message. Actually I have defined it in here. Make that sure that should be as a fetch. And now that is our console log. It display our field name, and that is display updated successfully. And now I want to also check it in our description. Here also I want to make it as a D. Click it here. Description updated successful. So now that is here I have used it as one of the D. Here I use it one of the S. Now if you go to that our database, click it, perfect. You can see description is updated, title is also updated. Okay, how to do this work, friend? I hope it's very clear to you. Now both of this is successfully visible. That means now if you still now refresh it, and that will be successfully updated. Now I want to make it like that way. Here I remove it. Now that will be updated. Here I also want to change it. So whatever the text now you want to update, you can actually update that things like that way. We don't need to go to that our database. Here if you refresh it, now that should be also updated. You can see that is successfully updated. most interactive one of the things. I hope you like it very much. Now if you want to update something in here, simply you can actually update it in from to this position. Okay, so then that will be automatically that will be updated. If you also want to update from to the backend, you can also able to update it. Great. So it's very interactive one of the things now that is really work. And also I want to check it without logging. You cannot able to actually select it. Right now I'm already logged in, so better I want to open it with the Indigo, and in here I am not logged in. If you click as our access that our page, and you can see that right now I am not logging, that is display our login button, and yes, you can see you cannot change anything in here, which is really great. How to do this work, friend? I hope the concept is very clear. Now in particular that page I am already logged in. That is the reasons that is the edit functionality is successfully visible. Here you can update that both of this information as per your demand, and if you can see that is already updated, click as a refresh, that is successfully updated. Great. Now here how to do this work. I hope the concept is very clear to you. Now I want to implement the same things for our this particular title. Like there is one of the title here. I don't want to update this title from to this our backend. From to the same page here, I will actually update these things with using the JavaScript. I will update our this information, or if you want to update like that informations, okay, here actually you can change it. If you want to update that informations, you can also change it. So better I want to make this our heading, and this heading I want to make it as a dynamic. So from to this our one of the places, I will create another new database table, and into this database table area I will simply update this information. So how you can do this work, but I want to continue this process in our next video. Step by step I will show you that things with the live example. So thanks for watching, and I will see you in the next video. Hello friend, welcome back. In our previous video here, we successfully done one of the most interactive things. Like from here, you can actually now able to change that any information, that means the title and also the description. So we don't need to update this information from to this our backend. Now from here directly that will be updated in our database, and also that will be happen without loading that page, which is very interactive one of the things, right? I hope you like it very much. Now in this video, I want to work for our our title, like that they have one of the titles. So this title I want to make it as a dynamic, and also here that is another title. Like if you go, you can see that is also another title as a review title, another title for the questions title. So now there is a 3 of this. Now I want to update this title one by one. Let's start to do this work. For doing this, like they have the 3 title, better I want to create another new table. So if you want to create this table in a Laravel, now I hope that at that point that should be very clear to you. But I want to make it as a clear. Okay, make it as a clear. And first of all, I want to create another new model. I just name it as a PHP artisan, and then the make that will be as a model, and I just name that model as a title. Okay, I name it as a title, right? So that will be as a title. And also at a time I want to create another migrations table. Now click as enter. Now that should be created 2 of these things. One, our model is created, and migrations table is also successfully created. And now I want to assign some of the field for this migrations table. That means if you go to our database migration, and that is our migrations table, and in here I want to actually assign 3 of this field. Like here I want to simply take it and I just make it as a 1 2 3. 3 means that is actually, they have actually 3 of this title. 1 I just name it like as a features. Okay, whatever name actually you choose. Now for make this sense, I want to take it as a features. There will be features, and also make that sure that should be no space, and that will be one of the string type. And also I want to make it as a nullable, because here I only want to update this data. Right, we have to fetch this data and we have to update this data. Another field title I want to update, like here if you go, that is our reviews. Now I copy it. Now that will be another one. I just name it as a reviews. And also another title I want to update, that is like as an answer. Okay, so I want to make it as a answers. Great. So now that is the 3 of this field. I simply take it as a features, reviews and answers, and here I make all that field that will be as a nullable. That means if there have any no data, that should be not display any type of issues. I simply update it. And now I want to go back to that our model, and into this model area, I want to make it as a protected guarded, because all that field now that should be as a fillable. That's all. Now I want to migrate it. Here, if you want to migrate, I want to call it as a PHP RT sun and RT and then the sun, RT sun and migrate RAT, right? So that will be the PHP RT sun migrate. Now there is a new database table is created by the name as a title. If you now go to that our database, now that should be another new table as a titles, and into this titles area there is a features, reviews and answers. So now here I simply initially add some of the data. I make it as insert, like here I put some of the data. Here there is another review, another information. Okay, I simply put some of the data, and now I make it as a go to that browse. Now a specific one ID related, I want to update that our features, a specific one ID related reviews I want to update, and answer I want to update. And rest of everything will be just like that same that I have already done it in here. So in particular that position there is a two field, one is our title field and also another one as a description field. Now that will be little easy because there is only one field that will be as a feature. So now I will actually copy a lot of all the things from here, and then I will actually implement that things from in particular that position. So for doing this, first of all I want to find out a specific this file location. I have already segment all that our pages right here. Right now we don't need it, also we don't need it. I want to go back to that our home, and there is a home layout, and that is actually our feature blade. You can see that is actually one of the text, right? So now that is the text I want to do, I want to update. So if you want to do this work, first of all I want to get that our data, I want to get that our specific one ID related, and that is the data I want to take it. So here if you want to take it, in that case we have to do the same things that I have done before. I take one of the PHP block, and then that will be PHP ended. I take one of the variable like as a title, okay, title, and with this title I want to access that our model name. So that will be the app / the models, and / that will be our title, right? So that is actually our model. Sorry, here our model name, if you go, I have already been copied. Okay, I copied that is a model name, and now that will be our model, and into this model area I will call our find method, and I want to find our one ID related data. Right friend, I hope the concept is very clear to you. So right now they have the one ID. Now this one ID data I successfully get it, and I take the things with this variable. So now we have to update that information. Right now that is our static data. Here I want to make it as a dynamic. Okay, here I want to do, first of all, if you go to that our slider blade, into the slider blade, what exactly I have done, everything will be just like that same. I will actually copy everything from here. Like that is actually one of the H1 tag, and that will be just like that same. Okay, that will be just like that same. I want to simply copy it better, and now if you go to that our feature, and in the feature there is a h2 tag, better here I want to paste it, and right now that will be our name. Here I want to make it as a h2 tag. Okay, that will be the h2 started, h2 is ended. Right now we don't need it, and also they have no class, right? So that means here we don't need to add any class. Okay, I want to remove it. Only that will be our name. Our name I want to change it like as a feature. Okay, I want to first of all display that our name. If you want to display it, that will be with the title. I want to display our field name. Our field name, if you go, like that will be actually the features. Okay, I copy it. Now that will be here. I want to access that our features. I hope the concept is very clear. And now also with this title, I want to update that our ID. That means that is actually our requested ID, and here that is ID as a 1. Great. Now that will be fine. And also I want to update that name, like that will be as a feature title. Okay, I want to simply replace it with this feature title. That is one of the ID, and our content, there is a content edit table, that will be our authenticated user, only he can able to update it, rather than that will be not able to update it. So this type of one of the things, and rest of everything will be just like that same. Okay friend, I hope the concept is very clear to you. So now our another job will be our script. I want to go to that our slider, and from to the slider I want to do and to copy the same things. Better I copy it. I copy total script. Okay, I copy it from to this our slider PHP, and now I want to go to that our features, and into the features area here also after that last div I want to do and to paste it. So right now one by one I want to actually update. Like that will be our CSRF token will be the same. Here only one things will be needed. Right now we don't need it. I just name it. That will be as a title element. Here I want to name it as a feature element. Okay, so that is actually a feature element means here I have already put one of the title. If you go to that our top again, I put the title name as a feature title. Better I copy it, and now here if you go in particular that positions I want to do and to make it as a our feature title, and feature title I want to take it with the variable as a title element with the same name, same method. I want to use it as a save changes, that is element, and that will be I just change that name, that will be as a not the slider ID, that will be like as a feature ID. Okay, features ID, and that will be our element and dataset ID, and then the field will be element ID, and that will be our that is the feature title. Okay, if that have any feature title, then that will be get that our name will be which one, name will be if you go here, that is actually the name as a display as a features, right? So that will be as a features. I copy it. Now here that will be our name will be as a features, rather than that will be as a empty. Okay, because there is only one field data, so I want to done to simply update that things like that way. That will be our features title. If there are any features title, then that will be get that our features data, or rather than that will be the empty, and that is the field data. I will simply take it with the field. Great, and then there is a new value that will be just like that same. Now I want to create another new route, or route name I name it as the edit, and then the features. Edit features will be ID, which I have already named it as a feature ID. So that will be the feature ID. Method will be post, and rest of everything here that should be the same. Here we don't need to change anything. Only one things will be needed. That is our add event listener, and into this add event listener area that will be the function will be the key will be enter, and also that is the same method I have used it. That means here if you go, that is the same method as a save changes. That means here also we don't need to change anything, and after that only one will be enough. Okay, here I want to done to simply remove this one. Now that will be our title element, add event listener, that will be the function, save changes will be our title element. Great. So title element is also the same. Here I have already named that our title element, and here I get that our feature title. I hope friend the concept is very clear to you. So now our next job will be here we have to create our that is the edit feature. So better I want to go back to that our web.php, and in here I want to copy it. Better in our slider controller I want to finish it. That will be the same logic, I paste it. Now here I name it, that will be by the name as the edit feature, and also that have one of the our feature ID. I want to simply take it. Now that will be as a edit features with the ID, and I want to name it as a edit, and then the features. Okay, I name it as a features. Now this step up one of the method I want to create, and that will be one of the post method. I want to go to our slider controller, and into the slider controller I want to copy that our edit slider. Same logic, I copy it. Now here after that I want to paste it. So now that is the name method should be as edit features. I copy it. Now that will be here. I want to do an update as a edit features. Request will be our ID, and now that should be not that our slider. Here I want to access that our title model. So here also we have to import it. Better I copy it, and here I paste it. Our title model name, our model name as a title. I copy it. Now that will be as a title. Okay, here I successfully loaded this our model. So now we can able to use this model. I want to go back to that our edit features, and now here I want to access that our model as a our title. That will be find that our ID, and here better I want to change that name as a title. Okay, that is a variable. And then here found to the request has our field name. Request has our field name as a features. I want to access that our features. I copy it. Now that will be as a features, and in our, that is our title. With this title, I want to access that our field name as a features, and that will be our requested field name. Requested field name also I pass it here by the name as a features. Now that will be as a features. Okay. Great. And description, that will be not needed, only one field will be enough. And then I want to simply save it, and then that will be return response, the success true. That's all you have to do. I hope, friend, the concept is very clear to you, because before I have already done the same logic, same things in here. Now I click as a save all, and then I want to run that PHP Artisan optimize. Okay, I want to make it as optimize. Now optimize running successful, and now if you go to that our page, I want to check it's working or not. I want to first of all here that should be now display our appropriate that database name. That is a database area. They have some of the demo data. Better I want to copy it, because I will actually update this data like that way. And now if you refresh it, first of all, you can see that is actually display our which data, that is display our existing features field data. Okay, here whatever the things will be changed, that should be now display in here. So I want to make it like as a test. Okay, I make it as a this is feature, features features. Okay, so now after that I want to make it here. Now if you go, I just click outside of this box, that should be automatically updated. And if you now refresh, it's not updated. I want to check it, what exactly the issue. I go to that element and console log, and in here is display some of the error. Better I want to refresh it. Okay, I want to refresh it, and here if you select something and if you click it in here, it's getting some of the unexpected this as an internal server error for the edit features internal server error. Okay, that means they have some of the issues in our code. I want to go back, that is internal server error. That means they have some of the issues look like in here. That is the our name as a features, that is a title, find will be the ID. Okay, everything is look like fine. And if you go to here, I have already updated that name as a edit features. The post method, that will be as a edit features. Title, I have actually added the title. With this title I want to access that our features, and then that will be as a requested features, right? You can see that is a slider. I have actually saved it. That should be obviously as a title, right? So that will be as a title, and that is a title save. Simple, a small mistake. Now click as a save all, and now I want to go back here. Now that when you get some of the internal server error, that means they have some of the issues in your method. So now I successfully updated. I want to better refresh it. Okay, I want to refresh it, and now I want to check it again. Here I want to put some of the another text. Click it in here. Yes, you can see feature updated successful. And now if you go to that our database, now that should be updated. Perfect. So here we successfully done this job. So now whatever the text you want to add, you can actually add this text in here. But now I have already removed it. Better I want to open it from to this our fontaine theme. Into the fontaine theme, I want to simply copy this text. I open it. Now that is our fontaine theme. Like this type of another text I want to use it. I better copy it. And now in here I want to update. Okay, that will be here updated. Perfect. Now that is successfully updated, and now if you go to the database, it should be also updated. Okay, friend, how to do this work? I hope the concept is very clear to you. So this title is also now dynamic. That means from to this area, you can actually update this information rather than we have to actually update it from to this our backend. How to also work that things into this our backend theme. I hope now the concept is very clear, because into the slider, I have actually shared both of these. You can update the same data, a specific ID related title data, the link data, description data for the slider. You can actually update it from here, and also you can update it from to this our home, that is our main home page. Okay, now both of this is great. Now in our next video, I want to apply the same logic, same functionality for our another title that will be for the review. Okay, so how we can do this work in our next video, I will show you that things with the live example. So thanks for watching, and I will see you in the next video. Hello friend, welcome back. In our previous video here, we are able to successfully complete that our feature part. Now from here, you can actually update this information, and this information directly will be updated in our database, right? That means in our database table. Now I want to do the same things for our another title, which I have already declared it in our database, and that is our field name. Another one is a reviews, right? So now I want to work for our, that is the review part. Let's do that work. For doing this, I want to go back to that here. Right now, slider will be not needed. I will copy everything from this our feature. And now if you go to that our view, and that is our home page, and that is actually the review, right? So that is a review part, which I have already updated that things before. Now in particular that area, and that is actually one of the text. Now the text I want to update. Process will be same here. If you go to that our features, and from to the features I will actually copy everything. Like first of all, I want to copy this our title. I copy it, and now in our review and into this review area, that is actually our div. Here actually you have to work, right? So now I want to first of all take it. That is a title, and from to this our title table, I want to find out our specific one ID related data. Then that will be our h2 root tag. I want to also update it. Now here, if you go, same things. I want to copy our h2 root tag from to this our features that I have already done it. I copy it. Now into this our review, and into this our h2 root tag, here I want to paste it. Simply I want to change that name as a features to the review. Okay, and then the view and review title. Rest of everything will be same. With this title I want to access that our ID, and with this title now I want to access display our which data, our database related, that is a field data as a reviews. Now I want to access that is a reviews. I copy it. Now that will be here as a reviews. Now with this specific our one ID related data from to the title, that should be displayed. This our existing review data. Great. Which is fine. Now also I want to update that our JavaScript. I want to go back to that our features, and from to the features I want to copy it. I want to copy that our CSRF. I copy total things from here. I copy the total script. Okay, here I copy it. Now I want to go to that our review, and into this review area here, after that our last step, I want to paste it. So now simply I want to replace that name. Like here, that will be our title name. That will be as a review title, because here I have already updated that name. That will be as a review title. I copy it, and now here I want to update like right now, that will be as a review title. Okay, that is a review title. That will be also as a review title. Here I want to better change that name as a review ID. Okay, that will be the review ID, and here I want to display that name. Now that should be as a reviews. Okay, here I want to use it as a reviews, or rather than that will be as a empty, which is fine, and rest of everything will be same. I want to create on the new route, that will be as edit reviews with the ID, and this ID means that is our review ID. I want to update that our review ID, and then here everything will be same. Right, so the rest of everything will be just like that, same method, same functionality. Now that's all. Now we have to create that our route as a edit reviews, and also that is some of the ID. I want to go to that our web.php. In here I copy it and I paste it. Now that will be that our name will be as a edit reviews. I copy it. Now that will be as a edit reviews ID, and then I want to create on the new one as a edit reviews. Okay, reviews or review, whatever you choose. Now this type of the method I want to create in our slider controller. I want to go to that our slider controller. I want to copy that our edit features, and here I paste it. So first of all, I want to update that our name will be as a edit review. I copy it. Now that will be here as a edit review. Request ID. Title will be the same. Now we have to get that our request name. I have already passed it by the name as a reviews. So now that will be the field name will be as a reviews. That will be our field name as a reviews, and that is our field name as a reviews, right? That means with this title I want to access that our field name as a reviews, and that is actually our requested field name. Our requested field name, I name it as a reviews. Okay, fine. That's all, and now that will be actually save this information. Perfect. That's all. Now if you click as a save all, and also want to run that our PHP Artisan optimize, running successful. If you now go here, but I want to copy this text. Okay, now that should be display our existing one. Existing, they have some of the review data, and this data that should be displayed, I copy it, and now I want to refresh it. Okay, refresh it. You can see existing data is visible here. If you change something like 1133, click it in here. Now that should be updated. Okay, also I want to check it in our console. Review updated successfully. That means now if you go, that should be also updated. Perfect. Without loading that page, everything is happening. So now if you change it like that way, click it as here, that is updated. If you now go, that should be updated. Perfect. Okay friend, here how to do this work. I hope the concept is very clear to you. Here we successfully also able to update this title, and now there is another one as answer. So in our next video I will also make these things that should be as updated. Simple jobs how to do this work. In our next video I'll show you that things with the live example. So thanks for watching, and I will see you in the next video. Hello friend, welcome back. In our previous video, we successfully update that our review part. Same logic now want to implement it for our that is a question answer. Okay, so let's do that work. For doing this, I want to go back to that our page again. Now I want to remove this one from to this our review. I will actually copy everything. So I want to go to that our specific this file location that is in our home layout, and that is the name as a answer. Okay, so you can see that is our answer. I have already segmented. There is a multiple data. Later I will also make this part that should be as a dynamic, but right now I am actually dealing with our that is the h2 tag here, that should be as a dynamic. Okay, same logic. I want to go to that our review. From to the review, I want to copy that our PHP blog. Here I want to simply take it because that is in our title area. There is also another field as a answer field. Now I want to don't actually access this our answer field. So here if you want to do this work, then that will be our h2 tag. If I want to go back to the review, here there is a h2 tag. I want to copy it, and now into this our answer area I want to paste it. Now everything will be same here, only I want to change that name. That will be as a answer or question, whatever you choose. I have used it as an answer, right? So that I want to don't use it as an answer title. That will be as an answer title, and auth will be the same title. And with this title I want to access that our field name as answers table field name, and in that is actually our database field name as answers. Here I want to don't update it, and title ID will be the same. A specific our requested ID as 1. So that's all. Now I want to go back to that our review, and from here I want to copy that our total script, JavaScript. I copy it. Okay, I copy the total things from here. I want to go back to that our answer, and into this answer area, into the last one I want to paste it. Now our name, our field name, I have used it as an answer, and then the title I copy it. Now that will be here. I want to update that our answer title, and then that will be as an answer title, rather than that will be as per our database field name as a answers. I copy it. Now that will be as answers, rather than that will be as empty, and then I want to use another new name as the answer. Okay, answer ID, and that will be here. Also we have to pass it. We have to pass that our answer ID, and that will be by the name. I want to use it as a answer edit answers. Okay, edit answers with the our ID as a elemented data set ID, which I have already taken it. I hope at that point it is very clear, and rest of everything will be just like that same. Here we don't need to change anything. And now we have to create this one as edit answer with the ID. I go to that web.php. Here I want to copy it, and then I'll take another one that will be the name as edit answers with the ID, and I want to update our route as a edit answer and then the ID. Post method, I want to create the new method as edit answer. Okay, ENWERS answers. And now same in our slider controller, I want to complete this part. I better copy that our edit review, and here I paste it. Now our first job is we have to update that our method name, that should be as a edit answer. I copy it. Now that will be as a edit answer request, and then the $request and ID. Title, that will be get it from to this our title table. Everything will be same. Our field name here as a answers. I copy it. Now that will be as a answers, our title with this database field name as a answer in our title table, our database field name. Right here, if you go, you can see that is our database field name as an answer, and also our requested name. I also pass it by the name as an answer. From to this our answer blade page. Here I want to access that our answer. Okay, now that should be also updated. That's all. Now click as a save all, and now if you go, I want to make it as a PHP artisan optimize. That is adding successful. And now if you go to that our page, and before doing anything, I want to copy it. Now I want to refresh it. Like right now, that is our existing data, right? So they have some of the existing data for this our answer. It successfully get it, and now that is successfully visible. So here I want to change it by the name as a 33. And now if you go refresh it, that is successfully updated. Okay, that is successfully updated. If you also want to check in our console log, into this console log, click it, that is successfully updated. Perfect. So now I want to use that appropriate name as a fine answer to all questions. Now that is successfully updated. If you now go to our page, that is successfully updated. How much interactively we are handling that our h2 tag, that means all that our title for our this project. I hope friend you like it very much. So laterally from to the our backend, I will also manage it, and also from to this position you can manage it, the title, description and images, because before I didn't load that images also you can able to update it from to this position. Okay, so I will also update this functionality like that way. From here you can actually update 3 things. From to the backend, I will also share that things with you, and into the front end area you can also able to update that our images, update the title, description. How you can do this work I will show you. Okay, great. So now our this part is also dynamic. Everything actually now comes from to this our database field. In our next video I want to update our this part. So that is actually our feature part and features area. Now that will be actually another code application we have to create. That means we have to insert the multiple data, right? So we have to use the multiple data. So how can handle with it in our next video, step by step I will make this part that should be as a dynamic. So thanks for watching. I will see you in the next video.